Welcome to Saturday morning here at the Spring Sport Card Expo here in Toronto. Very exciting for myself. My name is Josh Madigan, from the co-host of the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast, and thrilled and honored to be joined today for a nice conversation with Al MacInnis. Let's hear for Al. So Al, one of the things I heard is that you haven't done something like this very often, that this maybe is the second or third time that you've come to a show like this or done a public signing. Is that correct?
That is correct. With 4 kids, growing up and
sure.
all being involved in sports, it's just hard to find the time to, get away for a few days, especially in the off season. We still spend a lot of time out in, it's in BC in Radium, Hot Springs. We got a summer place out there. And then we tried to visit family in Nova Scotia. So spending the off season in those both spots, it's hard to, spread your time out.
Oh, I can imagine. So really the Sport Card Expo is an amazing event that really connects so many fans to the game of hockey. And it's almost like walking through the history of the game. And I guess I want to start going back to when you were growing up. Who are your influences? Who are the players that you followed as a kid growing up here in Canada?
Well, growing up in a small fishing village in Cape Breton, we used to get probably 75% of the Montreal Canadian games just because of the time zone, and then the rest would be the Maple Leaf games. So obviously we followed the Montreal Canadiens and the big three on defense, Larry Robinson, Guy Lapointe, and Serge Savard, and they were the big three that we used to watch and try to learn from every Saturday night in Hockey Night in Canada.
Did you collect sports cards at all for any of these guys?
Absolutely. I was talking with the gentleman this morning driving me here, and I'm sure there's so many of us have the same story. We used to have like shoe boxes of cards, like so many cards when we were young, and we would bring them to school. And we would go through them with our friends, and we were joking around, trying to trade for certain guys, and got them, need them, trade them, So I used to collect a ton of hockey cards along with my brothers. I had 5 brothers. They used to do it as well, and unfortunately, we didn't keep them.
Well, that's why so many are valuable today, because
Exactly.
that's the common story. Do you remember having a favorite card?
No, not really. I know it's a long time ago, but we used to, mimic certain players when we used to play street hockey, And for whatever reason, the one that comes up to mind, and I don't know why, but when we went in the net, it was always Cesar Maniego. Don't ask me why, but that was the name that stuck out. It sounded like a good name and pretty good goalie, and that's what I used to use when I played net when it was my turn to get in there.
So as your career began, your rookie card is in the 1985-86 set, OPG. Do you remember seeing your a hockey card, an Al MacInnis hockey card, for the very first time?
No, I honestly, I'm going to answer no. I don't really remember the very first time, that I looked at it. I knew when it was and what set and what have you over the years, but no, it was probably just something that went along with the professionalism and whatever the career, and it's not something I paid much attention to be honest with you.
Do you like your rookie card? Do you like the photo they picked, or would you have picked a different one?
The best thing about it is it got lots of hair, right? So
there you go.
I don't know where it happened, or I guess my father. I can blame my father for the hairline, but over the years and doing shows like this, you see so many cards and. They're great memories to have.
Okay. How many times do you think you've signed your autograph in your life?
Boy. I don't know. A lot, over the course of, how many years. And, obviously we would have a lot of fans on the road traveling, outside of hotels and at rinks. And even when I took my kids to hockey tournaments, we came here to Toronto many times over the years, played in the Ronald McDonald tournament, played in the Silver Stick tournament. There was always hockey fans around, and I was always gracious enough to sign whatever they had. But
Are you a memorabilia guy, like from your own career? Are there certain things that you've kept that kind of take you back to those times and help you connect with those memories?
Yeah, I've collected some of my, jerseys, obviously, winning the Stanley Cup in Calgary in '89, winning the gold medal in Salt Lake. I have a number of, different jerseys for, career highs, 1,000 points or so many games. But I also have, not a lot. I have a few jerseys of, some of the icons in the game. I have a Gordie Howe signed jersey.
That's not bad.
I have a Jean Beliveau. I have a Guy Lafleur jersey and have a Guy Lafleur stick. A good story when Guy was in New York and he was winding down his career. I remember him watching him with the Montreal Canadiens coming down the right wing and firing that slap shot, past goalies for years, and I just idolized that. And I just, I'm not one to, ask for many things from former players, but I had to get a stick signed by Guy Lafleur, and I met him after the game, and he was gracious enough to sign a stick for me, and I have it in one of my prized possessions.
If there is one piece of hockey memorabilia that you don't have that you would just love to own and to be able to display in your house and to look at and appreciate, what would that be?
That's a. I'd have to think about that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got another tough question. I debated asking this but okay, let's say you had the opportunity to solve all the world's problems, okay? Now the cost to do so would be you'd have to give up your Stanley Cup or your gold medal. In order to solve all the world's problems, which would you give up? Did I stump you?
No. To give up one to solve, well, I'd give up both to serve to solve the world problems. But I know what you're asking me. I would probably have to give up the gold medal.
Okay.
I'd keep the Stanley Cup ring.
All right. Good answer.
Because just growing up and watching those teams every year carry that Stanley Cup around, it's just something you never forget. And when we were growing up, playing in the Olympics, we didn't dream about that because we never thought we would get the opportunity to play in the Olympics. But once we did get the opportunity, it became a close second. Trust me.
Well, I appreciate you answering. It's like picking your favorite kid. It's an impossible.
Well, it's not quite. I'd never do that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we have one more question, but it's not for me. So you got a big fan here, Dean.
See that.
Hey, Dean, you want to come up?
All right.
Are you okay with Dean asking you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, Dean, come up and come right here, buddy. All right. So say your name, your age, and where you're from.
My name is Dean, and I'm 10, and I'm from Sarnia area.
Okay, so Dean has a question for you, Al. You want to go ahead and ask your question to Al?
What was it like winning the Stanley Cup?
Well, it was a dream come true, and like I just mentioned, when I was your age and watching the Stanley Cup playoffs every year and watching the teams parade around the ice after winning a Stanley Cup, not realizing that I'd ever get a chance to do that in real life. The NHL and winning the Stanley Cup felt on a different planet. And, growing up in the area that I did, actually the first NHL game I ever watched, I actually played in. So that's how distant the NHL was. But it was an absolute dream come true. And on top of that, winning it in the old Montreal Forum, which I thought was the greatest place ever to play a hockey game, and watching, all those Canadian teams winning in the Montreal Forum and getting the opportunity to carry the cup around that forum was absolutely amazing.
Great question, Dean. Let's give Dean a round of applause here. Carried the interview. All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, well, I think that's all the time we have. Al, thank you. I hope you have a good day at the Expo, and thank you for being a great ambassador to the sport and game.
Yeah, thanks for everybody coming, and thanks for having me, and having a great day. Thank you.